Hi, I will tell you what I did on this project, and this was with a big team, so many of the stuff I haven't done all features alone. So, in example here, I have done this spider, but the bullet, the weapon, I haven't done, so it was in development, so some stuff will not work or not will work properly. Just explaining because some stuff it's unfinished or barely working, but it's not because of me. Um, I have not finished this spider, um, but yeah, well, she is walking randomly in the level in a certain area, and she was made to keep tracking the objects around her, and if she's blocked somehow, she will behave differently. Or if she can't reach the goal, that is, let's say on the player here, she will give up of doing this, of going there and do other thing, because this is a multiplayer game and some players could block the way, or some objects or some creeps could be on the path, and then she could be like facing the wall and not going for some reason and not proceeding to the position. So this is there. This is a better movie too that I have created, and there is a lot of code for the attacking, because she will throw some magic. Let's say it's firing some projectiles, and as well she's doing melee attacks, and I have made this in the simplest way to behave as we need. And also, if the spider is as a creep, is a enemy only, we can possess this spider and use the spider as a vehicle and shoot on other players on the other team. Of course, she will just shoot on the enemy team. By default, she's neutral. So if we play the game and then, well, she don't have any target, she didn't saw me, so she will track randomly in the level here where she was supposed to walk and not nowhere else. But then when she see me, she will track me, aiming me, and then starting shooting. But some stuff is broken on her, even the animations. This is just placeholder animations, and then she will not work. She will attack 3 times or do a melee, and then if I come closer, I can possess her. And then now I'm controlling the spider to do the shots I want and behave as I want. But as I said, the projectile and other stuff was not me, so they are all weird, and they were or they will be improved, but I just don't know when. I'm just doing my part here, that is other stuff on the spider. The possession, then the behaving of the spider. I need to get the latest on the project because it's some stuff it's kind of broken here. I guess they have the updated version and I don't. And another thing I did, I'll show you on the second. Another thing here I did was a mini game, let's say. When you die, you will be not seen by other players, and then you will work differently. I have done just the logical part, and this is more beautiful because a good guy have touched this and made a wonderful job. So when I die, the body doing this thing was me, but all the effects and all the souls was not me. The Dark World was me, and only who's dead can see this. And I have done also this Wraith you saw. So when you die, the Wraith will show up, and I have made this this Wraith to show you the time remaining for you to respawn. And since this is a mini game, you see, or you need the 10 souls, or you just wait. So when you die, also just who is dead can see some wisps. This is the wisp, you see, she's running, and your job is to collect them. When you collect, you get one soul, and then the game goes. It will depend on the time the game is running. If you are on, let's say, it's 30 minutes of game or 10 minutes of game, this will increase, and then you can respawn and do your thing. But at the first, it's very quick, and you will have a fast respawn, and you can keep the souls for another round. Let's say you died and you collected the 10 souls. You can keep the souls on your next death, and then you can respawn faster. Let's say it is on concept, but you can also use the souls to buy some other items. So I have stored those souls on a good place, so if we need to use this somewhere else, we can also easily use this. And the next thing is, okay, so in here my task was to give this kind of object their effects. If you destroy this object, you will receive 1000 of points. There is just a 100 points, and there is the bomb block. And this one, this block here, it will explode and make all the other blocks around as a fragile block. And the fragile block will be destroyed if a player gets above it. It will start crackling, and then it will break and vanish after 1 second, I guess, or maybe less. It is being made yet. This already works, but the time it's not decided yet. I have made just 1 second that as a placeholder. And all the objects are, of course, replicated. And each one will have its own effect, affecting all the players and the blocks, or just the blocks. This one will give damage to player, enemies, and also the blocks around it. There's also this destructible. It should be another block, but it should be the fragile one, but whatever. This health block, it can spawn or a health to recover player health, or give a life to the player, because if he dies, he will have a life and you can recover it by collecting it. And yeah, I have made all the other kind of logic for all the blocks. There's a lot logic here. The loot blocks are the blocks that will spawn a block, a object, so the player can collect. It can be a power that he can gather, or it can be a health, or it can be a new kind of ammo, and sort of a lot of stuff. And as the poison thing here, it will explode. And if the player is in the radius, it will get poisoned, else it will just explode. And the blocks around this bonus block, it will be like poison blocks. It will be like a no effect block, but it will be green. And if the character steps on it, it will get poisoned, so he will have the poison effect on him. And the same for, of course, the enemies. And yeah, basically creating all those effects. The spider, and there is another one, but it's very hard to show because it depends on a lot of stuff. But it was a cart. It's a vehicle here in the project, and if you step on it, it will be like on your team, and this vehicle will shoot enemies, people that is not on your team. It can be also a creeper, but it will focus and primarily shoot players around it. Or sorry, primarily the crypts. If no crypts, then the player. And if there is a player in this card, it will charge and blow a area damage. And if you are not in this card, then it will just beam a laser in the target, doing a periodical damage. And yeah, and if someone there, besides of doing area damage, the damage will be very high. So people will fight to have this object to win the game, and it's a cool thing. And in this game, there is a VR player and a PC player playing together. So the PC will have a wheel. It's like a red wheel, and if he walks there, depending on the direction he's facing and walking, he will directly change the direction of this vehicle. And if he's not walking, he will be stop it. The vehicle will not be moving. And for the VR, it's a little different. Sorry. The VR will just activate a lever. If the lever is pointing front, then it will start walking forward. And if it is going backwards, and then the cart will be going backwards. And there is a kind of booster on this for the VR player, that if he use this object that is linked for just the VR, he will turn this object in the cart, and the charging time will be reduced. So by being a VR and being on the cart, you can activate it faster. Basically, this was what I did. The cart moving, the cart doing this, and the setting the team on the cart, and the attack modes for the cart, and if it is activated or not. The beam tracker, because I have not set the beam to track the player just instantly, because it looks very bad. So I have an object like following the player along, and it gives a better, very cool feel. And someone else is doing the health on this card and all the visual things that is being very cool. I've done just this core thing, but not too much visual. And that's it. Thank you and see ya.